yeah, so back when before the before
What's Tim Sylvia? 300 pounds,
right, exactly,
6'6".
Yeah, exactly,
he's
a monster.
It was that
6'8",
UFC heavyweight champ of the world.
Exactly.
Right, exactly. So so Randy fought Tim Sylvia at like a mass destruction event, I don't know, somewhere around 2000, right? So Randy's the guy that's like, the big goofball, yeah, whatever. So
Yeah, I'll take it.
Yeah, so Randy's a maniac. I love that guy. And I was talking with him. He was like, yeah, I got some guys that like to get on your show. His guys fought for us before. One of his guys actually fought John Jones, and it was at Parker Porter, who's in the UFC now.
Yep.
Right.
UFC
so
heavyweight.
that's where Parker trained with Randy years ago, and I was just mentioning what I had for just some opponents that I was looking for at various weights, and he's like, yeah, I got somebody for that guy. Like, you think he'll fight my guy? And I'm like, why wouldn't he fight your guy? And he's like, oh, my guy's 4-1. He's a Carlson Gracie purple belt. He's got some boxing experience. Like, he's running people over as amateurs. Like, he's gonna be a pro pretty soon. And it's like okay, so I'm amazed that we're able to find guys that are that skilled, right? Like,
yeah.
You don't find too many. Again, he was from a real Gracie school, right? Like, he's a purple belt in jiu-jitsu. He's got good hands. He's just good everywhere, and like, he's a guy that would be tough to match for a pro debut.
Oh yeah,
right. So so that he was like, yeah, we'll take that fight, and again, that's another one that I have absolutely no idea what's going to happen.
Yeah,
and these are guys that they're going to be fighting as amateurs, and they're both guys that could go on to have
amazing,
really good careers. They're both looking at it like this isn't just like a hobby that we do a couple nights a week. Like, Fabio's a jiu-jitsu instructor down in Framingham at I think it's Alliance Jiu-Jitsu in Framingham, and and Lee McHugh is the opponent. I probably should have gave his name at some point.
Yeah,
right? I'm realizing I didn't do that. So Lee McHugh is the opponent, and again, he's a guy that's been doing this a while. He's very active. I mean, one of his fights he took since we booked it, right? So we had a fight. He had accepted this fight and was like, yeah, but I got this other one in a couple weeks first. So he's a guy that's staying really busy, and I'm sure both of these guys are going to have good pro careers, but we're going to see him fight as amateurs.
Yeah,
right?
you're going to see him at the
That's
very, very beginning.
See, and that's beautiful across the board. Is like, these are real guys, and these are real guys with a real opportunity across the board, and fights that are all pick'ems. And so, like, hats off to you, and just both of you guys for putting this together. Because as a fight fan from New England, it was a great mixture of sort of guys that were bred here and guys from all over the place, and they're all real guys, and also from some gyms that are pretty notable. I think we got guys from AKA, we got guys from Jackson Wink, we got from Florian's gym, right?
Double Grati's,
Yep.
that song.
Yeah, so huge gyms, huge real guys, and just great competition. So,
And you're going to see that as we move forward, going on. We have a show in October, we have a show in February, and then we're going to sit down with UFC Fight Pass and figure out what they need for dates for next year, and then kind of fill in those dates. We need to schedule, we obviously need to coordinate with the boxing commission to make sure it's a night that they can do, and we need to coordinate with the venue to make sure it's a date that they have open, and then it also has to be a date that the UFC needs content. But you'll see guys come in after we've done this event, after it goes off on TV, that'll want to fight for us, because now we're not just a name. We're not just, hey, we're thinking about doing a fight. We had a couple stagger steps. We had a fight booked in June, the year that they shut down for COVID. In March, they they said, this is it. We're shutting everything down. So we had told everybody we were doing the fight, and then next thing you know, you couldn't do the fight. And I had threatened to do it a couple of times. I would call Rick, and I'd be like, we're doing a fight. He'd say, you serious? And I'd say, yeah, we're definitely doing it. And then something would happen, and wouldn't, we wouldn't do it. And, so now that everybody knows that we're back and they see it, I think it's going to be different. And then even from the production side, the TV production side, I have a real good friend. His name's Dean Toole, and Dean is partners with Roy Jones Jr. and Roy Jones Jr. Boxing. He's partners with Game Bred Masvidal, Jorge Masvidal, and Game Bred Fighting Championship. He's partners with Anthony Showtime Pettis in the Showtime Fighting Championship, and then he has 2 organizations of his own. So I think 4 of them are on Fight Pass, and the guy's got a ton of experience. He's probably one of the best kept secrets outside of the UFC as far as talent. He's unbelievable matchmaker, matches all those cards. He's as tied in this community as anybody, and nobody, they don't sing enough praises for him. But he's gone out and helped us with this entire thing. He's brought in all his people, from as far as television and everybody that he had, he's let us use and piggyback off his experience. And all of those shows are such high end. They do such a good job on TV that it's got a real good feel to it. It's not like a Mickey Mouse show, where the first one, if we were trying to do it on our own and just bringing people in and trying to put teams together, it would be very difficult. These guys have already worked together. They've already done, hundreds and hundreds of shows. Dean's got a show he does down in Florida, in Pensacola. It's called Island Fights, and he sold 67 tables before they went on sale. I mean, they have a following down there. We did tables this time. It's the first time we've ever done it. And the idea is, at some point we'll have enough tables sold where people will actually be fighting to get them. And that's what he says that happens down in Florida. He says the first show you might sell 20 tables. The second show you might sell 30 tables. The fourth show you'll have 40 of them. But, as a promoter going in and knowing you have those tickets sold already, takes an awful lot of the pressure off you because it's,
And then all of a sudden you can start getting better fights and more fights. And
we can start planning things a little bit different. Where this one, we're calling guys up and trying to explain to the young guys who we are, and they're interested. You can tell that they want to do it, but they don't, they don't know enough about us.
But look, here's the
Candidly,
thing.
I think a lot of the guys too are kind of they've got their blinders on, right? They see the 2 or 3 shows that happen within 30 minutes of their house.
Mm-hmm.
And they look at it like, okay, I'm gonna fight for these guys. I'm gonna try to get enough wins here to get a shot, right? So I've talked to some of these younger guys or other gyms, and they're like, oh, I don't know who's using the same production as, I've never seen one of Masvidal's fights. Why would I pay attention to that? Right? I don't know who
they're
Dean.
just
I don't
laser
know.
focused.
And it's like, well, guys, there's a whole world outside of
the little local show.
you get away from Boston. There's a lot of good stuff going on, right? And you don't have to do it the same way that everybody else is doing it, right? Like your career path doesn't have to be the same as everybody else's, and you don't, it's, you don't have to hold out for the easiest fight on the planet, right?
Yeah.
Because you see so many guys not be active because they're waiting for the best fight for them.
Correct.
And then you see another guy, again, Billy Goff's a good example. He actually, his last amateur fight was against the guy on our show, against Sanad.
Yep.
Right? And, that fight was, I think, 4 years ago, right?
Believe so.
Something like
Yeah,
I think it was 2018, 2019, something like that, right? So Sanad won that fight, but then you look since then, Sanad has been able to get 2 fights, right? Because a lot of guys don't want to fight him. But then you see a guy like Billy, he went out and he's been fighting often.
consistently in top level guys.
When you mentioned Billy, I was like, wait, he fought somebody on this card. As an amateur.
Yeah, Billy Goff is really, really good. He's probably the best prospect, in recent years, he's one of the better prospects to come out of New England.
Yes.
Right? So he's someone that he's headlining a Dana White Contender Series soon, right? So, you just see, you can take that approach, right? You can take tough fights. He's fought the best of the best.
Yeah.
He went, again, I think it's 7-2 or 8-2, and he's in the UFC now, right?
And he's got a shot when he gets there. He's got the experience with fighting tough guys. It's not going to be his first exposure to fighting real guys.
Right.
And that's
the
the
tough
tough
part.
Yeah, that's the tough part. Is you get used to fighting guys that don't have winning records, and you go in and you fight with a guy that's training in a gym that he's getting different looks against monsters, and he can go in there and hang on his own. When you get there and you don't have that experience, it's painfully obvious, and it's happened over and over again. And we wish everybody luck, but it's different, It's a whole different level at that thing. Rick talked about there being levels to this thing.
Correct. Yeah, and you don't want your big fight to be when you find out that there's levels to this.
Yeah.
Right? You don't want that to be when there's the most eyes, viewed as, you're like, I haven't fought a guy that's, it's a real guy yet. And now when I've gotten my moment because I've picked my fights very, very carefully, now I have my big moment and I realize, there's levels. There's levels in there. Get in while you can, because after this event, from what I see, there's going to be fighters lining up and saying, "Hey, what do I got to do to get on the next card?"
It's already happening. You know, just from you start putting posters out, you start, the website got launched, the UFC announced our partnership. Next thing I know on social media, I see a huge uptick in people, following us and fighters, reaching out to us and saying, "Hey, we'd love to fight. We'd love to get involved in this. When's the next show? How do we get involved?" And I want the fighters to come to the event. I want the fans to come to the event, but I want the fighters that have never seen us before, that don't remember when we did World Championship fighting, to come out and actually check an event out and say, "Okay, this is where I want to fight." We're 13 miles outside the city of Boston. It's you drive off the highway, it's the bottom of the exit, you take a left, you drive down, it's all free parking, it's a 4,000 seat venue. It's got this really cool vibe to it with everything's really on top of itself.
And what's the name of the venue?
It's called the Shriners Auditorium. It's really it's known for the circus and the rodeo.
Oh, yeah.
It's
and our card shows.
Yeah, and our card shows and
the
gun show, the roller derby. Yeah.
Yep.
So it really worked out to be a perfect place for us because there's no place outside the city. If downtown Boston is, you pay $45 to park to go see a show. And it's a venue that's 1,200 seats. For us, it just doesn't make any business sense. We can't bring in the top level talent because there's just not enough money in a deal like that. But when we do a show in a bigger venue, it frees up some cash, and then we can really go out and look for these top prospects and take care of them. And I love the venue. I love the people over there. They're great to work with. They're fun. I read an article one time when we did our first show. I don't know if you guys know anything about the Shriners, but it's an organization of all typically older men. They wear the fez hats, if you've ever seen it. So the article said that, this is the first fight at the Shriners and first WCF, and they said the fights were unbelievable. But even if they hadn't been unbelievable, it would have been worth the price of admission just to see all the old Shriners. When all the guys walked in, they were horrified. They didn't know what to expect. They didn't know what to expect from the crowd. And if you listen and you've never been to a fight and you think it's going to be something that's not welcoming for kids, or you've never been and you just don't know what to expect, it's a very well behaved crowd, very knowledgeable crowd. I had a woman yesterday said she wants to bring her 7-year-old son that's in karate. I said he'll love it.
Yeah,
it'll be a blast for him.
Absolutely.
There's no problems at our events.
Yeah, extremely well behaved crowds. Like they just show up to obviously show respect to the sport and to watch a great fight. Yeah. And like I said, they're knowledgeable. The environment at those is absolutely electric.
It is. I was going to say electric.
Yeah, you can feel it. And so I'm going to ask one of you guys to cut a quick promo to TikTok and let them know where they can go ahead and view the fight, or where they can purchase tickets, or just how the heck they would get their hands on seeing this fight.
To get tickets, you go to combatfc.tv. Double check on that one. So it's combatfc.tv.
Yes, sir.
On TikTok. And tickets start at $55 for general admission. They go to $65 for reserved stadium seats, which are great seats. We have tables on the floor. They start at $1,250 for 10 seats. Those are the front row tables. And then the ones behind it are $1,000, and they go 10 seats for that too. There's also $250 cage side seats, which are unbelievable. You want to be right next to the action.
They're actually inside the barricade.
Those are amazing.
Yeah, that's the way. That's the way to go if you have the money. Yeah. Behind that, the second row is $150, and then $100 for the first 3 rows, which I think we're almost sold out of. If you're hearing this, now's the time to jump on and get the best.
What else do we got?
Yeah, UFC Fight Pass. I think they do a 14-day free trial or a week free trial. But you sign up, there's so much tremendous content on there, and it's so much fun. And fights like the LFA are on there. Basically, I think he does 20 or 30 shows a year, so there's constantly fights. CFFC is a tremendous fight organization out of Jersey that puts on really, really good fights. They're well worth watching. I watch them all the time. There's literally fights from all around the country that are live, and it's a great platform. It's I don't pay for Netflix. I use my brother's, but
Don't we all?
if I was gonna suggest anything, I would suggest Fight Pass because I wind up spending more time watching that than anything.
Same. Yeah, oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, a pleasure to have you guys in today, and obviously we'll be talking a little more in the near future. Obviously, we'll be at the event. Fresh Pulls is gonna show up there and obviously have some fun covering.